Buckle up, guys. You're in for a long video, so I'm not going to ramble too much at the beginning. But I will say some of these movies I haven't reviewed yet because I was really busy, and some of them are from like 2023 and a little bit older. So yeah. There's something I wanted to tell you guys, but I forgot. I don't remember. Oh well. So, this is going to be a huge movie review, and it's movies that I have seen one time, and we'll get into it. So first up, we have Five Nights at Freddy's. So I remember when this was coming out, everybody was making comparisons to Willy's Wonderland and, like the banana splits and stuff. I really enjoyed this movie. I liked it. It was really good. I thought the acting was great. The visual effects were really great. Everything about this movie was just really good. I would say that it was one of my favorite movies from 2023. I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, I would probably give it like an 8 out of 10. Just because, like, I don't like the thought of children being, murdered and stuff. But, like, they've been doing that a lot lately. So, I don't know. Oh, I remember what I was going to tell you. If I look down, it's because I wrote a lot of these down because I have so many movies to review. So, yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's, 8 out of 10. Next, we got Scream 5. I don't think I ever, reviewed Scream 5 and Scream 6. So, Scream 5. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the Ghostface's reveal, and I thought their, why they were killing people was really dumb, in my personal opinion. I thought their motive was really stupid. I didn't like that part. Overall, it was a good movie. It was well acted. The cast seemed like they were really good friends. I just really liked Scream 5, but I wasn't crazy about the Ghostface reveal either, to be honest. So I would probably give it like a 7 out of 10 just because I'm not crazy about the Ghostface reveal. And next we have Scream 6, which is a really good movie. Like, I did enjoy it. But again, the Ghostface reveal was really dumb to me. I don't know. The Bailey family were just kind of boring in comparison to the other Ghostfaces. Like Stu Macher was really great. Billy Loomis, Jill Roberts, even Charlie Walker was more interesting than these Ghostfaces in Scream 6. So I feel like they kind of brought down the movie a little bit, and it was really easy to predict that the sheriff, the cop, it was obvious that he was one of the killers, and his son was even more obvious. I was a little surprised, not gonna lie, about, the girl in the movie. I kind of liked her more than I liked her dad or her father, because to me, her brother and her father were kind of boring characters. She was the only one that really brightened up the scenery, not scenery, but the movie. I liked her a little bit more than her father and brother, but I still don't like her as a Ghostface, just saying. And you can agree with me if you want, you can disagree, it's okay. I would say Scream 6 would probably get like a 8 out of 10 for me. I really enjoyed it. Okay, this next one I was a little disappointed with. It was Renfield. Not for the reasons you think. It's just I didn't find this movie as good as I thought it was going to be. My parents really enjoyed it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. Like, the blood was kind of weird looking in the movie. It was just a weird movie, to be honest with you guys. I don't hate this movie. I did find it a little interesting, but there were some parts that were, I'm spitting everywhere, sorry, kind of boring, to be honest. But, every time, Nicolas Cage was on screen, it made it all the better. So, that's why I'm going to go a little bit easier on this one, because every scene that Nicolas Cage was in made this movie just so much better. And, yeah. So, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 as well. Next is Evil Dead Rise. Oh my gosh, this movie was so crazy. I found like that creature though at the end of the movie really dumb, to be honest. Like I thought it was stupid, but it was a good kind of stupid. It was stupid fun. I enjoyed this movie. I think it's one of the best ones in the franchise, and whether you agree or disagree, that's fine. Like, we're not here to argue. I just really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I love Ash Williams. Don't get me wrong. But, like, this one was just so fun to watch. So, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I just really enjoyed it so much. And I want to rewatch it again and again and again. Next, we have A Quiet Place Day 1. I'm surprised I didn't, write this down in my notes to review it. But anyway, I was really disappointed with A Quiet Place Day 1. I just didn't feel like it was as good as the other ones. I loved the family aspect in there. In the original film series. Sorry, the other two. You know what I mean. But yeah, I found like this one was just like not as good as that. Not as good as the other ones. And I was disappointed with this one. But the acting was good, and the cinematography was really great. I enjoyed watching that more than I actually did the whole movie. And this woman in this movie, she was dying of cancer, and she felt like she was going to die anyway. But the thing is, she had a companion, and she risked his life because she was selfish and only wanted to go after some pizza. And it's like, girl, your life and your partner's life, which she didn't need to be there because she told him to go away, could be in danger because you want pizza. Like, you're really, really selfish. And, yeah, I was really mad at her because she was being really selfish. And I know she told the guy to get away, but he wanted to help her. So, that's why I'm going to have to give this one a 4 out of 10. That's still very nice, but still, it wasn't that good of a movie. Next, we have Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. Oh my gosh, this movie was so fun to watch. I really, really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people didn't like this movie, but I personally liked it. And I love the bright colors and everything that was flashing around on screen and everything. So I really enjoyed it. I would probably give it like maybe an 8 out of 10. Okay, next is Thanksgiving, which is like the serial killer killing on Thanksgiving. Self-explanatory. I really, really like this movie. It was so good. Again, though, I wasn't real crazy about, like, the killer reveal, though. That was the only complaint I really had with this movie. Some of the deaths were a little stupid, but I thought they were fun. They were good fun. So Thanksgiving would probably get like a 9 out of 10 for me as well, just because I enjoyed it so much. None of these movies are perfect, though, by the way, but yeah, that's what I would give that. Old Dads is the next movie. I really, really did not like this movie. I thought it was boring. It was really, really bad because it was like racist and shit. So I didn't really care for it. Like, they didn't, like, the old men's in there, I don't think they said the N-word, but it was implied that they said it. I really don't remember all of it because I did not like this movie one bit. Like, I found it boring. I found it racist. I just didn't like it. I'm probably going to give that a 0 out of 10. Just to be, like, that doesn't exist on the scale or whatever. I'll give it a 1 out of 10 because I did not like this movie one bit. Okay, the next is Black Phone, which was really interesting. I found this one like a good movie. I enjoyed watching it, and it was just something different. Like, for me, I like to see things that are different, like with paranormal movies, because it is technically a slasher/paranormal movie, in my opinion. So I like seeing that they did something different, and it was well made. Loved the acting. I even like the villain behind the scenes. A lot of people really loved working with him. They thought he was really interesting. And, you know, like, he usually plays, like, bad guys, or actually good guys in his movies, so he decided to play a bad guy, and I thought that was really good, or really interesting. So I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. So next is Good Burger, which I remember watching a little while ago. It was really funny, really good, really silly, honestly. I loved it. I couldn't believe, like, how dumb Ed was in the movie, but I enjoyed it, so I would probably give that one, like, a 9 out of 10 as well. It's not perfect by any means, but it's funny. Now, Good Burger 2. I feel like this was a step back from the first one. I found it was still good, but it just wasn't as good as the first. It was still hilarious, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I was like, what is this shit? You know what I mean? So that's probably why I'm going to give it like a 5 out of 10. Just because it was okay. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad either. It was okay. Okay, so next we have Scrooge. I've never seen this movie before. Like, I think in 2023 was my first time ever watching this movie. I found this movie so funny. It was just so entertaining. I enjoyed watching this man realize how horrible a person he was, and I just really loved it. I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10 though, because it like any good movie, it has its problems. So next is Surviving Christmas. I really honestly don't remember this movie at all, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't remember this movie. I would have to go back and watch it again because I forget crap all the time, so I don't really remember this movie. But for now, I'll just give it a 1 out of 10 since I can't remember it. But I'm sure it's a good movie. Next is The Best Christmas Ever. I do remember this one. It was a really cute movie. I just loved the chemistry between the actors. They were doing really good, like, you know, like chemistry, like father, daughter. They were doing good. Not like that, but you know what I mean, like. The chemistry between the father and daughter was, like, good because, you know, like, it made you feel like the dad, even though he's not her real dad, it made it feel like he actually loved her. That's what I kind of mean. Like, their flow was good, their acting was good, all that. Like, I don't mean that to sound like he's a creep, you know, I didn't mean that, but anyway. I would give The Best Christmas Ever, like, or maybe this one was with the family. I don't really remember. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10 though. Or maybe I do remember and I don't know. It don't matter. Let's move on. Okay, the next is The Sound of Freedom. Now this movie is about human trafficking. And if you go in expecting it to like talk about like human trafficking the whole time, you're gonna be disappointed because that's not what this movie is about. It's basically trying to find this girl that's in human trafficking, and this movie was good, and it was so heartbreaking, and it made me feel emotions that I didn't really want to feel, but these emotions were sadness because this movie was sad and it was horrible because so many people have been human trafficked in real life, and I can't imagine what they've gone through. So The Sound of Freedom gets 9 out of 10 for me. It was well made. It was well documented. I do think they should have, like, you know, give us a little bit more information about human trafficking, not only to keep us safe, but to help other people that have been human trafficked. So yeah, I give that a 9 out of 10. The next one is The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. The show was so crazy and insane. My dad actually thought the dad in the show was like gay or something, like, I think just the way he was acting, you know. But yeah, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. It was good, but the dad being over dramatic was a little annoying. Next we have the movie called 13. My dad found it on Tubi one night and we watched it, and I was so bored. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I was so bored with this movie. So yeah, 13 was just not a good movie to me. I just didn't like it. I'd probably give it like a 2 out of 10. But if you're like into the mafia stuff, you'd probably like it. Next is The Champion. Oh my god, this movie was so cool. I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. And to see like all these kids like being friends and I think that might be something else. I don't remember honestly, but like it was a good movie. I do remember that. I do remember enjoying this movie. I just can't remember exactly what it was about, so I'm sorry, guys. So I'd probably give it like a 8 out of 10, just because I'm very forgetful. Tell Me a Creepy Story. Again, my dad wanted to watch this movie, and it was okay. It wasn't really that great, but it was okay, I guess. Like there were some interesting stories in there because it's like it's kind of like Halloween, like an anthology series, or not Halloween, Trick or Treat. I mean, Trick or Treat anthology series, and this was like an anthology series, but it wasn't as good as Trick or Treat. And yeah, I would just give it a 3 out of 10 at this point, like 3 out of 10. Next is Lift. To be honest, I don't remember this movie, but I do know I watched it. So yeah, I can't remember this movie. So for now, I'm just going to give it a 1 out of 10 until I actually watch it again. Okay. Next is Pet Sematary Bloodlines. This movie was okay. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. There were quite a bit of parts that were kind of boring, I'm not going to lie, but yeah, I don't know. It could have been better, in my opinion. So I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Next is Megan Levy. Oh my gosh, this one was so sad. It was sad, it was happy, it was such a good movie. It was well filmed and well acted, of course. And that's a good thing to have in your movies, because when your movies are, like, they have bad acting, it's not as good or fun to watch. But this was a good watch. It was very sad. And it was just a good movie overall. It's about a woman and her dog, which I loved. So I love dogs and cats and all kinds of animals. So this movie was right up my alley. I would give it a 9 out of 10. Next is Quiet on Set. I had originally thought about making like a separate video on this topic, but so many people have already made lots of videos on this. So I'm not going to make one now because, like, pretty much they've said everything I wanted to say about this documentary. This documentary is well made. It was very good. I was really heartbroken to hear what Drake Bell went through and all these child actors went through. I can't imagine. And, like, that one person from all that, I forgot his name. I feel bad I forgot his name, but like, there was this scene that he was, like, covered in peanut butter. It made me super uncomfortable just watching that, and I can understand why he was uncomfortable, you know, being covered in peanut butter and all that stuff. Like, he even told Dan Snyder how uncomfortable he was, but Dan didn't care, so I feel so bad for all the people that encountered Dan Snyder. And Quiet on Set, I would say, is a 10 out of 10. Go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. It's a 10 out of 10 for sure. Next is Ricky Stenicki. It's a funny movie. I would go watch it if I were you. If you can. Like, I know not everybody can afford all these different apps. You know, like my mom and I sure as hell can't. And yeah, so Ricky Stenicki is hilarious. It's super funny. I enjoyed it. You know, I really did. I would probably give it like an 8 out of 10, though. Next is Night Swim, which I know a lot of people were disappointed with, but I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of fun. And it was different. I like how different it was, again, for paranormal things. It was different. It was good. I enjoyed it. I'll probably give it like a 7 out of 10. Okay, so next is My Life with the Walter Boys. So I remember binge watching the show when it came, well, not when it first came out, but a little while after it had come out. Sorry, I can't talk. I'm so tired. And I remember that, like, there's just too much drama in here. Like, they never get a break. like not having drama. With that little nitpick, like, yeah, I know it was like a drama series and stuff, but even other drama series take breaks in between their dramatics or whatever. But yeah, I did like it. It was good. I would probably give it like a 8 out of 10. Next is A Good Marriage, and I know Stephen King's name was attached to this movie. So at first, it draws you in, then it gets really boring. It draws you in again, and then it gets boring again. So this one's like a mix for me. I personally didn't like this movie, but I can see why some people would, because it like draws you in and stuff. I would probably just give it like a 5 out of 10 because it's okay. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It's okay, but it's not the best. Okay, the next is Piranha DD. Not to be confused with 3D, but Piranha DD. I can't remember if I've actually seen this movie or not, so I'm just going to review it anyway on here. It was a lot of good fun, honestly, even though the piranhas were fake as hell and, you know, some of the acting was a little bit iffy. It was still a fun movie to watch, I'm not going to lie. Like, you shouldn't take this movie seriously because it's not a serious movie at all. It's just there for fun, you know, and gore. I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10 because it's not really that good, but it's better than some things I've watched lately. Next is Red Water. Red Water was so bad. Like, they tried to do, like, the captions for it, and the captions and the way they were talking was off. The way this movie was shot was so poorly executed. I did not like Red Water. One bit. Like, this shark movie could have been so much better, but they just decided to skimp out on that. So, this is getting, if I could, I would give it a 0 out of 10. But since that doesn't exist, I'll give it a 1 out of 10. Next is Underworld. Yes, I've never seen Underworld until like either early this year or late last year. I think it was earlier this year. I thought it was really interesting. The reason I haven't watched it yet is because I was always watching other things that I really enjoyed. But yeah, Underworld was really, really good. It was one of my favorite movies that I watched so far in 2024. I'm pretty sure I watched it in 2024. So yeah, I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10. Next is Lady Bird. Okay, so my friends actually picked this movie, and we got halfway into it, and we realized we didn't like it, so we didn't watch it again, we didn't continue watching. So yeah, Lady Bird, I was just not impressed with. I know a lot of people liked it, but I didn't. I would give it like a 3 out of 10. That's still nice, but anyway. Next was Dragon Wars. I know a lot of people gave this one a bad review as well. Honestly, I thought it was some good fun. I had seen it before in the past, but I couldn't remember it, so that's why I'm reviewing it now. I didn't mind it. It's not the greatest, but it was interesting. At least a little bit. It piqued my interest. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Next is The First Omen. Again, I was really kind of disappointed with this. I expected it to be a lot better. And it just kind of disappointed me a little bit. Like, it wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't the best either. So, with that being said, I would probably give it a 5 out of 10. Just because, you know, it's decent. It's watchable. Like, I would watch it again, but I just didn't care for it, to be honest with you guys. Next is Fireproof, which is like a Christian movie, and it's mixed in with all this other stuff. I know this is so random, but I love the movie Courageous, and I've heard of Fireproof, so I decided to give it a chance. And it was pretty good, but, like, also, there are, like, some stuff that signals, like, an abusive relationship. So if you're triggered by that, I wouldn't watch Fireproof because there is, like, the husband pushing his wife around and stuff. It's really bad. That part I don't like, and that part I don't agree with. I would probably give it, like, a 6 out of 10. Next is Major League. I had never seen this movie. I've heard of it, but I had never seen it. It was kind of boring, to be honest. I just didn't care for it all that much. It was super boring. I guess I was so used to, like, Sandlot and some other movies that this just, like, fell under my radar and just didn't... It just kind of disappointed me a little bit. But it's still an interesting movie, I guess you could say. So I'd give it a 5 out of 10. Next we have Sweet Home Alabama. And I know a lot of people are going to make jokes about this. To be honest, I heard of this movie, but I had never seen it until recently. And so it was really a cute movie. Okay, so after I had bought this movie, it came out on Disney Plus, and I watched it on Disney Plus like 100 times. No lie. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh my god, this is so good. And I watched it again and again and again for a while. I would probably give it like a 9 out of 10 just because I personally love it. Next is The Fall Guy. Okay, so we watched like the extended version, which had like 20 minutes extra on there. Honestly, I thought The Fall Guy could have been a lot better, to be honest with you guys. I didn't hate this movie, but I didn't 100% love it either. It was well made, though. The acting is always good. Fight scenes, like the action was really good. I was hoping for more of like the action in this movie, but it's been a lot of time with the main characters just talking to each other a lot. So that's why it's kind of like, I'd still give it a 6 out of 10, though. Hold Your Breath. Okay, I honestly did not like this movie. I thought it was super boring. And the only exciting thing... Sorry, I keep getting notifications. The only exciting thing about this movie was, like, there was, like, murders going on and, like, this creature pretending to be somebody else when it wasn't. But overall, it was a really boring movie. I just didn't like it. I saw the advertisement for it, and the advertisement put only the best parts in there and then didn't come through. So I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10. Next is Abigail. Such a good vampire movie. I enjoyed this movie a lot. Ugh, stupid notifications. And Abigail, you know, like, they showed the twist in the trailer. So, if you didn't know, Abigail's a vampire. Which I hate that they spoiled it for us. But it's still a good movie. I would give it like a 9 out of 10. Okay, I've never heard of it. I didn't know about this movie until, like, Sabrina Carpenter released a song. And Dead Meat, like, said that this was referenced. Some of the stuff that was in Sabrina Carpenter's video referenced this movie. So, Death Becomes Her. I watched it, and it was interesting. I will say that. It was slow at some moments, but it was pretty interesting. I did enjoy it. And I would probably give it, like, an 8 out of 10. The Witches of Eastwick is next. I did enjoy this movie, but I found like some parts were kind of boring, to be honest with you. And yeah, the best parts were kind of towards the end, in my personal opinion. Like, there was some good stuff in the middle, but like most of it was interesting. So yeah, I'd probably give it like an 8 out of a 6 out of 10. Next is Slaw. And it's like a parody of Saw, but it's called Slaw. Even though it got really bad ratings, I freaking enjoyed it. My mom and I enjoyed it. We were laughing a lot because it was generally funny and just so entertaining. And if you can't like find it anywhere, it's on Tubi. And it was just a really funny movie. It was better than most of the stuff we were watching. And my mom and I agreed that it got 4 out of 10 for both of us. And last but not least, we have Woman of the Hour, which, if you didn't know, Anna Kendrick directed it. This was her first time directing. So I'm going to go a little bit easy on her. I mean, I'm joking. It was a good show, or a good movie. Basically, it's about the dating game killer, which, if you didn't know, he was actively killing when he got on this game show. And it's basically through the eyes of, like, Cheryl at first, like what she's witnessing and encountering and stuff. I just really liked this perspective that it was coming from Cheryl. She was an interesting character. She was a beautiful person, it seemed like. So yeah, it was basically through her eyes. And it wasn't all about, like, focusing on the murders themselves, because there's, like, only 2 people that we saw die. But if that's what you're going in thinking, like, oh, it's going to be all about him, you know, killing people, it's not. It's basically about, like, Cheryl's life and what she went through, and some of the point of views were from the killer's point of view, but most of it was from Cheryl's eyes. So I don't want to spoil too much in case you want to watch it, but it's so good. It's a good movie, and anybody who complains about it, I would like to see you make a better movie, to be honest. But anyway, I will give that one a 9 out of 10, just because I personally enjoyed it, and I know, like, a lot about the dating game killer or whatever, Rodney Akala. But anyway, this video has been long enough. I'm gonna go. Excuse me. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, some of these movies that I was reviewing were from like 2023 and this year. So I'm really sorry if it's so long and you don't want to watch it. That's okay. But if you made it all the way to the end of this video, can you give me a blue heart in the comments for Stitch? For Stitch. Do it for Stitch. Anyway, I'm going to go. Bye, guys.